Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Going for a approval of the agenda for today. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Dr. Lackner, can you hear us?
He's on mute.
Are you on the fingers?
Can you hear us?
He can, he's,
Okay,
his mouth
gotcha.
moving.
As long as his mouth is moving. Leave him go. We're gonna go ahead and approve the minutes for December 16th, regular meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
So
The second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Approval of the minutes for the December 16th. Got that? Okay, President's remarks. I would like to thank our GM and his team for the outstanding work that they do to keep Ocean Pines in great shape from a financial and beautification standpoint. With the recent flooding and snow, appreciate our Public Works Department for doing an outstanding job keeping the roads clear. I'd also like to thank John and his team, as well as the B&F committee led by Chair Doug Parks for outstanding work that they've done for this year's budget. Just as a reminder for my notes here, Maryland Coastal Bay Program will host a second public meeting on the Jenkins Point Restoration Project on Monday, January 29th at 6 o'clock in the clubhouse. There'll be more news on that on social media. So take a peek at that too for those details. I'd also like to congratulate Director John Latham for being elected as a director for the Worcester County Veterans Memorial Foundation. So congratulations to you on that.
Hey, thank you, Rick. Before I start, Chief would like to say something on newest homeowner in Ocean Pines. Chief Rob.
Like a cat out of the bag for everybody now.
Good, Chief.
So you're gonna be seeing, you'll be seeing a lot of me in town.
Great. We're happy you're a resident.
I just want to let everybody know, especially the winter time, just to take a few extra minutes when you're driving. And I know it may seem kind of silly to remind this, but if you are warming up your car in the morning, please make sure your car doors are locked if you have keys in it. It's very frustrating from a law enforcement point of view when it's a crime of opportunity and it has happened. I don't know if it's ever happened in Ocean Pines, but it could. So just don't always assume that it's safe, but drive safely. We have some winter weather. I'm sure we're going to have more. And thank you for your time.
Great. Thanks, Chief.
Okay. So before we get into the initiatives, I just want to just show everybody, we always start off with a couple of pictures. If you look to the top left, that's somewhere around 40, 50 years ago. Yacht Club in the very beginning, iconic signs, the sail is still there. The Yacht Club sign in the front, I guess over time, probably whatever happened, that they didn't replace it. With that said, we always beautification, looking for recapturing some of the old history here. There's the new sign. It'll probably be up in the next couple of weeks. I've seen it. They did a great job on it. It'll be placed, you can see basically where it was 40, 50 years ago. Right? I think that's going to be neat. Turn the page. All right, so those are the initiatives right at the top. The top priority right now is the Tiki Bar. I'll talk about all this. Budgets, Southgate Pond and all that. But let's get to the slides. There's a lot today. All right, so the Tiki Bar, there's a lot on this slide, but on the bottom right, that's the sketch. We have the approved plans from Vista. Eddie's taking them down to the county on Tuesday. So we're right on track. Hopefully we get approval soon, but we have been talking to the county on that. We followed everything. The plumbing, the electrical, the site, the construction, it's all there. I'm already talking to the contractor. So far so good. As I mentioned there, project status is green. Matt has reviewed everything. He has been involved as input, checking everything. So we should be good to go. Still looking for Memorial Day. Turn the page. All right, so the budget, a couple of things on this. So the budget for 24-25, we heard Rick talk about it. We did receive the changes from the board just the other day. Steve's already working on them. We're pretty much done on it. We are scheduling a town hall review and discussion, which we do every year. We will be doing that on Wednesday, February 7th, 2024 at 11 a.m. at the clubhouse meeting room. So you'll be hearing and seeing more about that. So we'll be there. We'll go through the whole budget, answer questions, whatever. Just a couple other things. If you really look at this budget, first of all, the recommended assessment is $850. It's been board approved at this point. That's the recommended. It's a lower assessment, obviously, from last year, but to put it all into perspective, it's a lower assessment. The budget has increased spend. We're increasing our reserves, which is a good thing on the balance sheet to many. And making the balance sheet is stronger. So when we budgeted, we're also looking at the balance sheet. We're also looking at the next several years. I want to make sure we can stay on track for the next 3, 4, 5 years. I'm sure this board would like hearing that. We have robust drainage, bulkhead roads, maintenance, and all initiative plans in there. So all cylinders. Turn the page. Southgate Pond, this one I like them all. So was it about a year ago? About a year ago, one of the committees came in talking about grasses and showing us some pictures and everything about Southgate Pond, and I'm on it, and we're on it. And I got a team on it. We are working with the Maryland Coastal Bay Program. They are committed to this. It's a soft shoreline project. Obviously, this is just, this is a vision down the road, but you can kind of get an idea where there'll be all grasses planted around the pond. We're going to start on the 589 side, mostly there, where there's the most erosion. And the main thing on this is to stop erosion, filter the water. And I think already we've had some projects on the turtles. I'm big on that, save the turtles. I've been told that we've done something in the past, but we are going to look at that, and that's going to be part of this program. I'm sure some people will like that. I do. So it is federal money. It's about $150,000 reimbursable based upon Ocean Pines presenting the invoices. We are working on this. We're working with Vista on a site plan. We're figuring about $50,000 for that. And we are working with several people on the flowers and all that. We're estimating around $100,000. Maryland Coastal Bays, their management will work with us, as I put here on the RFP. We will get 3 bids. We have to get 3 bids on everything, and we'll go from there. So this looks good. It looks promising. I'm excited. Turn the page.
John, I
Yes.
just have one question
Yeah.
on this. At the South Pond, I mean, this looks beautiful, and I think it's a great project. But will the kids still be able to fish there?
Yeah, so thank you, Elaine. I actually yesterday, Jack Barnes agreed with that. So the plan is yes. I'm actually going to look to the anglers for some feedback, but yes,
Good.
obviously not every foot of it, but we are going to build that in there, and I'm going to get input, recommendation, guidance from the fishing people.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah.
Racket sports. Give me a second. Okay, so racket sports, the second initiative, obviously after the Tiki Bar, is the racket sports building. We will start with Vista now. I told them the Tiki Bar was the priority. They'll start working on the plans for that. Again, we're interacting with the contractor. We are doing some work down there. I'm hoping to have this done also by Memorial Day or a little bit after. And again, all when we get the permits. So we did have a situation the other day. I got a phone call from the person in charge down there that there was water damage, water going into the pro shop. My guess from what I saw there, it's probably been going on for years. Went down there. Everything was all pushed to one side. We fixed it. It should be better. We definitely will have this built into the plans for the new building. I've assured everybody down there. On the page. Seasonal banners. So you all saw the banners at Christmas, at holiday time. That was pretty exciting. We got a lot of feedback on it, a lot of positive feedback on it. So with that said, we've gone forward. We have a yearly plan, an annual plan, pretty much quarterly. Nancy and Josh were in my office the other day. We've been working on this. I'm excited with this. So you'll see different banners at different times of the year. They have it all mapped out with different types of banners. So I think you'd be excited. We'll be highlighting the amenities, especially during the key times, yacht club, beach club, golf, about the police department here, and safest community around. Front page. It's the estimate's around $5,000. Reserve study. Okay, so with the budget reserve study, it comes into play. I've talked about it. I did get a few calls from a couple of people, actually a lot of calls from a few people on something that I did mention, and I want to clear that up. I did mention that we wanted to be at 30% on the reserves. So what that means is if DMA came in, this is an outside independent contractor, which we need with the new regulations to bless this. If they come in and they say to us that, you know, it probably takes 25 million to replace everything based upon their calculations and reports. If they say you should be 30% funded, I need somewhere around 7 million. And I'm going to show you in one of these slides where we're at, because I did mention those numbers. So I want to tie it into everybody, for everybody today and for those who have asked. And we have given the information to. Again, where we are right now, what was approved, what was recommended by BNF back in somewhere around 2017 and approved by the board back then was a range of 24 to 28%. So we had to be in that range each year for us to be in compliance with the board and DMA blessed back then. We are there. I'll show you where we're going to be at the end of this, forecasted at the end of this year. Okay, big stuff there. Steve.
Yeah, John, just the 30% that we're supposed to have for the reserves, that's measured by an established sort of depreciation schedule, correct?
So, and first of all, it's an excellent question. I went through it with Ken yesterday. I don't know if he told you. So this DMA study that they did in 2017, if I got the right year, I might be off a couple months. They calculate how much it would be by component to replace everything over years. So for instance, you don't go into the study and see clubhouse, $1.4 million. You know, the doors will be replaced at a certain time. The air conditioner might be. So that's all built in by year. And each year when we prepare the budget, we review that. I have the whole team go through and we review it. That's what that is. So based on time, how much to replace everything by components. I look at it, I speak to him more in terms of cash. He kind of gets it, or he's in agreement with the way I'm looking at this thing. And he's going to come in somewhere around November, we'll do a study. So basically what I need, or what we need to fund this place at around 28%, 30% is a percentage of right now somewhere around 25 million. You're not going to see that on the depreciation schedule. You got to see it in the DMA report prepared by this outside company.
But the replacement, I understand the point, but what I'm trying to get at is
Go ahead,
let's say replace roads or bulkheads or all, whatever, we have to have 25% of what the cost would be to do it entirely.
I got to start, look, this does not include bulkheads.
Okay.
Bulkheads is a separate situation. The bulkheads, if anybody doesn't know, this is a good time for educate, whatever. The bulkheads are funded yearly by the assessment. So there is no big reserve for bulkheads. This is how it's always been. All right, so that's separate. This is replacement of your fixed assets, non-bulkhead. The roads are separate, and the drainage of what we implemented something new the last couple of years on the drainage pipes. That's all separate. This is general replacement.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good. All right, so with that said, to be in compliance, he told, when I spoke to him months ago, Doug Green, who runs this for the independent contractor, he told me what we did in, when we did it, do you remember, right?
November 2021.
November 21, got it right up there. We're in compliance with the 5-year study. We're gonna have him come in the end of November. I think we set up a date already. He'll come in, they have a proprietary software where they do all these calculations that I was just talking to Steve about. And we'll give them updates. He'll come in, he'll review everything. He'll review all our assets. He takes a tour. I will have a team. I have a team in place, Linda, Steve, Eddie, myself. We will go through this over the next several months, looking at everything and updating it to make sure what we give him when he comes in is all up to date. So it's a big process. He then has the calculations. He's running for what he now has and what he told me about, and we signed up for it, is a beta program where he now will have it online. We would pay a fee. We can do it ourselves and save the calculation time on his end. So being part of the beta, we won't pay the first year. So I like that. I like that a lot. And the more we have in ours, and then he comes in and blesses it, it's kind of cheaper.
John, quick
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
When he did the previous, reserve study, as we add assets, they just get added into there, right? So the next time they do it, it's kind of a refresh. Is that basically how it's happening?
So, and you're right. So what we've been doing it ourselves kind of manually and looking at that. All that will then be put in to the system. Will all be in that book. So I'll have the most updated. We go out 5-10 years and you see, I have Steve do a schedule each year for you that we send out to B&F that shows us what we're projecting each year over the next 5 to 7 years, that I can make sure we're okay, and we are. Obviously, if that base changes when he comes in, and there are factors in that, we got to look at it. So that's why I feel, let's have a strong balance sheet, 30%, 28%, and then we'll go from there. If he says it's lower, well, that's a good thing. And I certainly would want to be part of the next budget. If he says it's higher, there'll be a lot of discussion. Because in the past, the board had the last word. It has to be an independent contractor blessing this thing for everybody, all HOAs. But I've already talked to him. I've given him the lay of the land with our balance sheet. So I'm confident that we are positioned well going into this. How's that? Good? Steve?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, next slide. Linda, dog park.
Okay, I know this has been brought up several times. We did order 2 pieces of agility equipment for the dog park. It has been installed by Public Works, and thanks to George Austin and Jack Levering, they're the ones that were spearheading this and for their input in regards to the equipment and the placement in the dog park. The buildings, as always, they did the beach club. They've been sanding down the damaged counters and restaining, and yacht club, they're doing several floor repairs throughout the building and drywall repair.
Let me just jump in. Thank you, Linda. So I've met with Matt. Matt's managers have met with our people. They've given us a list. We're going through it, and everything's being checked off. So he'll be ready once he reopens, and a lot of good stuff there. A lot of stuff that I never saw taken care of. Thank you, Linda.
Signage, Rec and Parks Committee has requested signage a few months ago. Signage has been placed, still an ongoing process, but the majority has been done, should be done by the end of next week. That includes directional signs, walk and trail signs, stop at park signs, curb your dog signs, and playground rules. Additional park signage is we're looking into doing maps or some kind of system so you can go through the trails. And the signage was designed and installed by Josh Vickers. I know this has been brought, we did renew for another 3 years. The new trash container should be arriving in the next few months. We did get confirmation on the special events. Paper bags only, but there will be no limit to the number of bags. They will be picking them up on a trailer. So this will be the dates, events will be advertising as the dates get closer.
So just to highlight also, Linda did a great job on this. She did all the contract stuff. So those 5 events, when we were negotiating with Republic, we talked about leaves and what our priorities were on that. And I gotta compliment the whole Ocean Pines of what we've seen this year with the leaves. But this is in addition to the bags they pick up every time they pick up your garbage. They will do pretty much, as Linda said, pick up everything on those 5 events. So this is in addition to what you have now. Joe?
Excuse me, John. Excuse me, John. It's
Yes.
Stu. Yeah, quick question. When they replace our containers, are they taking the old ones?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. That's a good point. Look, there's gonna be new containers. They're gonna be bigger than the ones now. If the ones now are 50 gallon, these will be 65, something like that. So it is gonna be a bigger can or whatever, but yes. And they will pick up, I know I got questions from people I know. Today, if you put an ironing board or some other bags right next to the container, they pick it up. They have told us they will continue to do that. No change,
No change.
no change. Okay,
Thanks, John.
okay.
Yeah, good. Yeah, sure. Spend Robert's rules. Good.
Yeah, hi, my name's Sean. I had a question on the paper bags for leaves. Are they gonna provide those paper bags or the homeowner has to buy those paper bags? And what specifically paper bags are they to use?
They're yard waste bags. They will not be providing them. We do sell them at Public Works, so you can pick them up at the Public Works building. Otherwise, Home Depot or anything like that can sell them. They're yard waste bags.
But if you put 100 bags out on that day, December 7th, whatever, they're gonna pick them up.
Go ahead and reinstate Robert's rules. Good.
Okay, CPI violations, we did a total of 61 violations this month, closed out 55, for the total of 144. We do have the majority open in maintenance. So if people see any kind of issues, we do have a smaller staff. Can't get 88,000 plus homes. So if you do get any maintenance issues, if you want to report us to info@oceanpines.org, we'll be more than happy to address them. Work orders, 24 new work orders this month, 60 were closed out with a total of 125 still open, with the majority in drainage, 57, but they are getting through them, Public Works and the subcontract. And customer service, total 61 phone calls and emails. And for any questions, concerns, please email info@oceanpines.org.
Financials. Okay. So financials, we do this every month. You're required, I'm required to present based upon budget, favorable or unfavorable, which I do, but I will also analyze and explain to everybody what's going on, which we always do. All right, so for the month, we were favorable to budget approximately $121,000. You can see there where revenue, we were favorable about 39,000, 40,000, and then the expenses were favorable. So the expenses are a couple of things. Obviously, we have had open positions. We'd have open positions in the police, in a couple other places. All the other places were fully staffed. So we got there, we said it would take some time, but we're fully staffed, and we anticipate being fully staffed with lifeguards for the summer. Turn the page, let's get to the year-to-date number. So, and just on that 120,000, just to break it out for you, because I do have, it's right up there on the next page, which is this. So the golf, I got my own notes on this. Golf was favorable, 37,000, aquatics, 13, public works, 21, CPI 4, which was permits and revenue. The same thing with aquatics. I was very happy with that, with everything. The police were favorable, obviously, on the expenses. The yacht club was favorable. The marina was favorable. Probably a little timing. We could have did a better job in allocating the budget over some of the months, especially in those two, and then the other 15 for the 120,000. But the bottom line is we're doing well, and a lot of it is revenue, and I'll show you that in the next slide. Budget, but when you look at actual, there's revenue growth, there's organic revenue growth, which I'm talking about, and you can see the 833, the bulk of it is 732,000 on the revenue line. Now, there's a mix in a lot of with the expenses, but the expenses are favorable, 101,000, but there's also been a lot of repurpose, reallocation of expenses, and that the benchmark for that, or the proof in that, is all the things that everybody's getting done. On the page. So that's the 833, gives you the detail. I want to go to the reserve schedule, especially with the DMA and all the questions. All right, so Steve gave us the reserves as of December, which is fine. See the bottom right corner, the $8.7 million, and you can see, and this ties into what I spoke to Steve Jacobs about before. You can see the breakout out of the 8.7. You see general replacement is the 6.2, and then you have all the other, the detail of all the others. But if we forecast to April 30th, 2024, which I'm going to do now and give you, you take the 8.7, you see the roads, we're going to take, about 300,000 roads, drainage about 300,000, bulkheads, the 700 or 900,000 that are in there. So basically going to use those reserves. because they're pretty much funded each year. Now the roads have $1 million in there. Budget and Finance gave us guidance. The board told me a couple of years ago to have a balance for roads of $1 million. You take all this, what the projection is at the end of April is around $7 million. That's where I'm getting the 7 million that I talk about. So that's where it comes from. Next time we'll have this detailed out and forecasted down to the bottom as we get close to April. That's pretty much tying in your whole financial.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Next is Treasury Reports. Monica.
Thanks, Rick. As of December 31st, 2023, the association had approximately 15.7 million in cash. Cash increased 600,000 from the same time last year. Cash decreased 1.1 million from November of 2023. We have 11,300,000 invested in CDARS. We realized 53,000 in interest income for the month. The remaining 4.4 is in insured sweep accounts, treasury bills, money market, and other operating accounts diversified between 2 local banks.
Thank you. Next, we're going to have public comments. Members wishing to make comments must state their name and address. They have 5 minutes to make comments. So public comments are open.
Morning, Karen Kaplan, 32 Chatham Court. Also president of the Platform Inspect Tennis Club. And I have 2 questions regarding a couple of items at the Racket Center. The first one is we've requested a 2-sport membership for the upcoming season to capture some more revenue from established members of 1 sport. And I know you're in the budget phase. I would like to know if this is something that's going to be offered. And if not, what is the rationale for not offering it? My second question is, the platform tennis courts have supports on the outside. 5 of them have the supports that are kind of anti-wind, and Court 5 currently doesn't have those wind supports. So my question is it in the plans before March when it can get really, really windy, although we've had some windy weather recently? What's the timeline for getting those supports, and if we are getting them? So those are my 2 questions.
The questions. First of all, on the supports, and I will go down and look at them. The supports you mentioned for all the other courts, I put them in. I authorized those. If you want, I can regurgitate why we put them in. There is this whatever requirement, insistence, or whatever wind shades on there, sunshades, that if they're not taken down when there are winds with that type of fence, we've seen since I've been here twice, because the shades or whatever were put on there. So we put them on. That one, they didn't think we needed it, but I certainly will go down and revisit it with the outside contractor who did it. But again, we put those in. If you feel Court 5 should have it, I'd certainly look at it. And when the contractor comes back in, because they are a distance away, I will certainly put them in if they tell me that we need it. Do you feel we need it?
Well, honestly, I would ask the expert, but I would rather be safe than sorry, since we had the collapse last year.
Right. But
you could
again,
probably ask him on the phone.
Yeah, no, I'll take care of it. I'm all for this, but again, we have to do the preventive measures, and I think you know what I'm talking about. Where when a big great windstorm comes or whatever, we have to be diligent to take them down.
I'm not talking about windscreens. I'm talking about the
support,
the angular supports. Right. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, when you have a windscreen on those high fences and the wind's hitting them, they kind of like catch the wind. And we've seen that. So it all ties in. But what I'm saying, to answer your question, yes, I will look at this. I will talk to them. If they tell me that we really should do it, I will definitely do it. I'm all for the supports, just like I put the other ones. The other one on the 2-sport membership, I can tell you this, and I believe I answered this in an info. I'm not sure if it was you or not, but that's fine. That's what we're here for. And I did anticipate this question. I went through all the budgeting, all that. I don't remember anybody bringing that up. And I don't believe it's in there, correct? So it is, as of today, it is not in there.
How can we move forward with a request? Because it has been asked for by the RSAC committee
Yeah.
in their annual report.
Again, it's a bottom up budget process. All the department, everybody was involved in it. I don't remember hearing it during the process. I definitely have heard you and another gentleman bring it up many times.
Something we can take a
They'll-
look at.
They'll look at it, Karen.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Yep.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name's Paul Rogers and I'm at 305 Sunrise Court. I appreciate everybody showing up in this cold weather. It is really nice to see people show up. On May 1st, 2023, it was a nice warm spring morning. Excuse me. And a lot of people were out walking on the parkway. Pamela was on the parkway at 9:30 doing her usual walk and jog. And when she was crossing the parkway, she was hit by a car. And she died on the way to the hospital. Just 3 weeks after that, a teenage boy was riding his bicycle on the parkway, and he was hit by a car when he went through the underpass at Route 90. He did survive. He went to shock trauma. He had some major injuries, but did survive. Those examples are just some of the fatalities and bicycle accidents that we've seen here in Ocean Pines. These obviously are preventable deaths, things that are really concerning to us. They are completely preventable. Most of you probably know Patty Stevens has pulled together some of us, and we're looking at safety for bicycle people, and we're also looking for safety for pedestrians. And we've had several meetings now, and our goal is several goals. Number one, we want to make we want to prevent future deaths. We want to prevent future accidents and injuries to bicyclists. That's the number one goal. Number two, we want to improve the safety of our walkways and sidewalks and trails and so on too. We want to improve the safety. We want to make them more connective too. People should be able to walk over to Food Lion without having to worry about all the traffic and so on. We want to make more connectivity. The third thing is we want to connect to other people who aren't out there exercising. According to the Surgeon General, a daily walking, just walking, can help prevent cardiovascular disease, dementia. It can prevent a lot of major health problems. So we want to make the roadways and paths inviting to get people to come out and enjoy and actually another way of saving lives too. We've been very helpful and very supportive and grateful for the help we've gotten through the board and the general manager. We have decided to meet this goal of saving lives and preventing injuries, of bringing in an expert. Alta is the people that can come in and provide a complete safety plan and look at our community, tell us what we can do to save lives and as well as to protect people too. And this is unfortunately, it's going to cost some money. It's going to cost about $50,000. However, we think we can get some help from outside resources and looking to the board for support to help us financially too. We're also looking to the board for their continued support. We've been very grateful for the support and general manager, but we have a lot ahead of us. We would like to implement the plan, the safety plan that comes in, and we're looking to the board and the general manager to help partner with us as we move forward to save lives and prevent any types of injuries. To conclude, my mother used to always tell me, don't forget to say please and thank you. So we'd like to thank you at the board for your ongoing support, and please continue, and as well as the general manager, but also please help us as we move forward and partner with us as we move forward to help prevent these deaths and injuries. Thank you.
Paul, just real quick, do you have a plan that you would be able to share with the board currently and also with the GM, or what you've come up with?
Yeah, thank you. We have contacted Alta and they're putting together a plan for us.
All right, please
put
share that
together.
with us.
And as soon as we get that, we certainly will share with everybody.
Okay.
We will share with everybody the very specific plan. It's plan is 3 to 4 months in the planning stage. They come in,
Okay.
they gather data, talk to police department, EMS, they talk to people involved, put together this plan after 3 months, and then certainly we'll share with everybody.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Absolutely. Any other public comments? Hold on. Hold on. Patty.
Go ahead, Patty.
No, go ahead, Patty. And then we'll go with Dutch.
Good morning. Thank you so much, and thanks to Dr. Paul for his great summary and outline. The board and the general management have been tremendous in support of the goals of making our community safer. It is going to be a little bit longer process. Chief Robinson just told me that he is preparing, has a presentation for our next meeting of the Ocean Pines Bike and Pedestrian Work Group that includes the Chamber of Commerce, includes a realtor, includes Dr. Paul, includes residents of the community. So we want to be thoughtful and mindful of coming to you with recommendations, one based on data, based on experience, and with cost estimates. So that's really exciting work that's going on. But I'm here this morning to, on behalf of my friend, the mayor of the dog park, Jack Levering. Jack called me last night and said, I just don't think I can wander out in the icy morning. But which he does almost every morning at 7 o'clock to the dog park with a group of about 10 to 15 people at 7 in the morning. I'm not kidding you. Every morning, rain or shine. And in the afternoon, there's about 20 to 30 people that come to the dog park. At 3 o'clock is a social group. It's a connectivity, it's a community. They look out for each other, and the dogs socialize as well as the people. He wanted me to thank you, and the other dog park members wanted me to thank you for the agility equipment. Jack's dog, Jake, is an amazing runner, jumper, exerciser. So he's already gotten use of the agility equipment. The one request item that Jack asked me to bring on behalf of the dog park crew is the, as you're building the new gazebo at the Veterans Memorial, that little orphan gazebo that sits out there that I believe used to be at the tennis racket center. And then before that, it was at the golf center. It's been an orphan and nobody wants it, but the dog park people really want it, because then on the rainy days when they still go out and their dogs want to play, they could be under shelter, and it would be a reuse of a facility that's already been purchased by the department. Would have a little cost, obviously, to relocate it, but that's a request that I think has gone forward from the Rec and Park Committee. I think our director liaison, Jeff Havener, put it forward, but Jack asked me if I would come and bring it once again to you this morning. I think the Veterans Committee already heard about it, and they said, sounds good with us. And so anyway, I just wanted to, they would make good use of it. And any of you that want to come by and see the hardy crew that socializes with their dogs and afternoon and morning, it would be a great resource to have that. So.
Patty, go ahead. You want to bring the news? Pretty news?
At the dog park or something?
The gazebo that is the orphan gazebo that's been moved around now, sitting in the middle of the Veterans Park. The dog park folks said, we would love to have that in the middle of the dog park as a shelter area for when it's raining. They still go out there and the dogs play, but they don't like to get wet. So,
So I actually, because I saw this, we got a couple of requests. The garden club wants it, the dog park. We're looking at possibly moving that to the garden club and building one over there that would fit a little bit. Yeah. I actually just talked to Public Works the other day.
awesome.
So we're thinking build the one over there at the dog park and then put the other one over there,
Okay.
once we get the
It
pavilion.
accomplishes the same thing, and two groups are happy. So
Right.
thank you. The other point that Jack asked me, and again, this is not just Jack, but the dog park members who pay an amenity fee of $25 a year to be dog park participants. And they are they help police that, because some folks want to come to the dog park and don't pay. And the dog park members are like, no, you need to get your pass and pay the fee. Is the Public Works has in the past dumped big piles of mulch and brought them and spread them. When we get weather like this, that big dog park has a low spot, and it is right now a small lake in the middle of the dog park, which means if you have dogs with long fur, they go in there and just get covered in horrible muck. So if that maybe there may be some other subsurface like sand or something that could help it drain, but every year, a couple times a year, it becomes just a big swamp in the middle. So if there, maybe somebody could look at that, that would be awesome. And thank you, as
Thank you.
Paul said, please, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Pat. Anybody else? Dutch, yeah. Hold on, Dutch, what's up? Sorry.
Hold up, old swing 12 Lord. I'm not here to complain, but the gentleman who spoke about the bicycles. Our chief had a nice story last week about the bike riding in Ocean Pine. I've been here 32 years. We got a 3-foot path, very safe. I've been only one time in the 32 years that there wasn't a problem with a person. But it is pretty safe to ride. But it's like the chief says, you have to have a light in the back of your bicycle. Don't ride into the traffic, ride with the traffic. It is very safe to ride the bicycle in Ocean Pine. That's all I want to say. I feel if the gentleman wants to talk to me, I'm willing. But we're very safe on the road here. I know there was 2 accidents happened, but it is 99% safe. I ride every day on the path. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Dutch. Any other comments?
Hi, my name is John Skalstad. I live at 25 Arcadia. I came today really because of what I saw on one of the social sites about the leaf removal of the ditches and so forth. I was happy to see that there are like, I guess it was like 5 event dates to be able to pick up leaves, which I didn't know about. So I was very happy to see that. And I do like the idea of having leaves, out of the ditches, drainage, so forth, as well as, insects, mice, so forth, killing of the grass, promotion of weeds. That's what leaving leaves on a lawn or in a ditch do. So I'm a big proponent of getting those out. But like I said, I'm really happy to see that we've made arrangements with Republic to be able to remove the leaves. So I can see where it's not that big of a deal for a homeowner who's doing their yard to be able to rake the ditch out and accumulate the leaves, put them in a bag. So I'm happy about that. The other thing I want to mention is what the gentleman said before about walking the food line. I've walked the food line probably about every other day. You probably have seen me. I'm the guy with the cart. I use that cart. I've had it for close to 10 years because I don't have to use bags, and I get my walk in at the same time. I exercise, so forth. It is a bit dangerous walking Ocean Pines to get to Food Lion and the stores that are across there. It would definitely be a benefit if there was a sidewalk rather than, going against the traffic and trying to get there. So I'm an advocate of that, and I appreciate you hearing me out. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Any other public comments?
My name is Mike Daly. I live in Mumford's Landing Road. While we're on the subject of the budget, I would just like to bring up, maybe you could look into bringing back a debit card for the swimming pools. I know that it's gone by the wayside, but a lot of people that I talked to liked having that debit card for the swimming pools. And an idea that you could take into consideration would even be make the debit card run with the fiscal year from May 1 to April 31. And if you have money left on the debit card, shame on you, you lose it. You should pay attention to your debit card. But it's just an idea I had. If you, while we're on the budget thing, if you could look at that, relook at bringing back the debit card for the swimming pools. I'm sure you all understand. I know I've talked to John about it, but he don't want to talk. But no, so I thought I would come and bring it to the board and see if we couldn't, if the board couldn't at least take another look at bringing back the debit card for our swimming pools. And by the way, you're all doing a great job. John does a great job.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. John, go ahead.
And I was just talking, there have been discussions on it, and obviously you don't want to hear discuss, you want to result. We have had discussions on it. We are looking at it with North Star. You know, the one we had before went on forever, and that was a major problem from an accounting standpoint. I like that you're saying that there's a parameter in the sense with the fiscal. We are looking at that. We are talking with North Star. You may see it. It's just not there right now.
Okay.
But
Like I said,
we hear you. We did.
my idea would be, even if you made it concurrent with the fiscal year.
Right.
So that if someone had $20 left
Right.
on their debit card, come May 1, you're losing.
Right.
You
So
know?
again, we're looking into it. I said, it's that we are looking into it. We're talking with North Star. We're trying to see what we can do, but it has to have the parameters, like you said.
Oh, yeah,
Otherwise, I have a bigger problem with the balance sheet and everything else.
exactly. Right. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Mike. Any other public comments? At this time, I'm going to go ahead and close the floor on public comments. Capital requests, we have no capital request. CPI violations.
Before we get started, now, can I just say something quick? Because I know this is something that the community, as many of us were running for the board, we heard over and over and over again about cleanup of properties. And I think people will realize, hopefully beginning with this meeting, that we took it very seriously. Linda, operations, her team, CPI, have really gone very proactive in helping to alleviate the problem that many homeowners have experienced for years throughout the community. And there just simply wasn't enough people. A lot of it was called in based versus being able to have the personnel and the time to go out and really look at these violations. But we're serious about it. We want this community, as it continues to age, to continue with the charm and the look of the community and make sure that we're all proud. We need people to be good neighbors. And if you're not, we'll take care of the problem. It's not something that, we're going to overlook, or put to the side. It's a major issue. And I just wanted to thank Linda and her group because they've done an amazing job. We have a long list for the.
Jeff?
Yeah, I want to emphasize what Elaine said. I mean, it was made crystal clear to all of us during the strategic plan that was put forth from the community survey back in 2021 that this was a gap that was of high interest to our community to keep this community appearance up. And we've done a lot, recently with the revisions to the resolution so that we can enforce these things. And I also want to thank you. It's about time.
Right.
Yeah.
Great, thanks. Linda.
In all these cases I'm about ready to read, you did receive the first and second notice that was provided per resolution MO1. No hearings were requested. The inspectors did go by and all. 7 White Forest Drive, maintenance. 55 Ramford Road, trash and debris. 53 Whitesdale Circle, no permit fence. 14 Cape Town Road, no permit for a color change. 41 Ocean Parkway, maintenance. 44 Ocean Parkway, sign. 2 Waters Edge Court, maintenance. 23 Lookout Point, more than 1 boat trailer. 9 Lookout Point, no permit for a fence. 55 Duck Cove Circle, no permit for addition. 55 Duck Cove Circle, maintenance. 49 Abbeyshire Road, easement. 12 Starboard Court, no permit for color change. 70 Bird Nest Drive, placement violation. 8 Yeoman Court, deck screening. 8 Yeoman Court, no house number. 8 Yeoman Court, no permit for color change. 8 Yeoman Court, no permit for a porch. 5 Moby Dick Drive, no permit for RV parking. 44 Harpoon Road, stop work order. 9 Abbyshire Road, no permit for tree removal. 9 Abbyshire Road, maintenance. 63 Falcon Beach Road, trash at roadway. 23 Garrett Drive, maintenance. 69 Tail of the Fox Drive, unregistered vehicle. 4 Brandywine Drive, tent. 800 Ocean Parkway, no house number. 762 Ocean Parkway, vehicle parking. 686 Ocean Parkway, no permit for shed and fence. 9 Tortola Lane, no permit for addition. 3 Tortola Lane, no permit for a fence. 37 Liberty Street, maintenance. 70 Cresthaven Drive, commercial vehicles. 38 Cresthaven Drive, unregistered vehicles. 884 Ocean Parkway, maintenance. 34 Nottingham Lane, unregistered vehicle. 34 Nottingham Lane, maintenance. 52 Nottingham Lane, no permit for tree removal. 52 Nottingham Lane, no permit for a privacy fence. 164 Nottingham Lane, fence placement. 16 Footbridge Trail, maintenance. 16 Footbridge Trail, no permit for alteration to the home. 3 Evergreen Court, no permit for RV parking. 8 Willow Way, maintenance. 6 Mulberry Lane, no permit for addition. 11 Gatehouse Trail, no permit for a structure addition. 76 Quarterstaff Place, no permit for tree removal. 11 Chestnut Way, tent. 13 Sassafras Lane, trash cans. 1300 Ocean Parkway, maintenance. 70 Robin Hood Trail, no permit for a handicap ramp. 81 Robin Hood Trail, easement. 841 Ocean Parkway, metal fence. 791 Ocean Parkway, maintenance. 10 Deerfield Court, no permit for a fire pit. 10 Deerfield Court, debris. 35 Cannon Drive, debris. 44 Brandywine Drive, trash cans. 12 Fairhaven Court, trash cans. 20 Fairhaven Court, no permit for a carport. 22 Fairhaven Court, trash cans. 23 Fairhaven Court, trash cans. 506 Ocean Parkway, vehicle parking. 8 Campus Back Court, placement for a basketball goal. 66 Wood Duck Drive, attachment to bulkhead. 205 Charleston Road, debris and yard. And 101 Mumford's Landing Road, maintenance.
So, now,
You guys have been busy.
so on these, our notifications already been sent, you said to,
The first and second notice, in most cases, we just resend the first notice and the second notice. And we had no request for hearings and the violation has continued.
Can I just add for the record that photographs of all of these violations have been distributed to the board prior to
Yes.
the meeting, so they've had an opportunity to review all these photographs of all the violations for each of these properties.
That's why the packets are thick.
so on that, with the notifications that have all been sent out, I'm assuming that they've been ignored.
They've been ignored. We had no return, so the address, they were delivered to the address.
Okay. So I would try to put a motion on the floor to, good.
So I move that we send all of these violations to legal. They've gone through first and second, sometime repeated. So my motion is to have these turned over to legal and proceed forward with that. In addition to suspending all amenities and voting rights.
Have a second?
Second.
My second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I do have one more question.
Hold on a second. Hold on. So with that, all these that we have are gonna go. Okay, gotcha. Go ahead, Elaine.
For any of the properties, this was kind of a question for Bruce. Do we need to have a secondary vote to allow Ocean Pines employees or contractors go on someone's property to clean up debris, remove cars, or do any of that? Is that a separate from this, or are we allowed?
To be clear, it is for Public Works or CPI to take action on property to deal with whatever the issue is. And-
Okay.
Okay, and I think we can deal with that by way of a unanimous vote without a meeting after today. Since the groundwork to get to that point under MO1 and under the code has already been laid, we would simply then just select which cases where that's appropriate and in consultation with CPI and Linda, and then have a vote perhaps without a meeting or outside of a meeting, but make it would then have to be unanimous vote if we proceeded in that way.
Great, that's
And then
similar to
a
how we
record
were
of that-
gonna handle
Right,
grass
and then a
cutting.
record of that vote would be reflected in the minutes of the next meeting,
Okay.
so that the public is aware. Yep.
You're talking about a unanimous vote if it was done by email.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Moving on for new business. We have a proposed motion by Monica.
Thank you, Rick. I move to approve an event calling it the OPA Season Kickoff Day to be held on Saturday, April 20th, 2024. The purpose and effect is OPA Season Kickoff Event will highlight all that Ocean Pines has to offer. The event will showcase our outstanding golf course, top-notch racket sports facility, beach club, pools, parks, hiking trails, recreational activities, and our premier attraction, the OPA Golf Club. Yacht Club. I'm so sorry today. I don't know why. Yacht Club. The event will promote and highlight the value of all OP amenities and create a positive, congenial, and engaging community experience. Background is an ad hoc committee. The OPA working group is comprised of representatives from OPA advisory committees. The group began meeting in March of 2023 and is leading the planning and execution of the season kickoff day. The objectives are to create an opportunity for residents and visitors to learn about the many OPA recreational activities, clubs, and dining experiences. We hope to, the committee hopes to generate additional income by eliciting new memberships to our amenities and or interest to participate in all the activities we have to offer. Lastly, it is to highlight Ocean Pines as a stellar community, as is offering something for everyone.
Monica. So I'd have a motion to approve the event of Ocean Pines Season Kickoff Day to be held on Saturday, April 20th, 2024. Do I have a second? Any discussion?
I will just state that this is intended to be a basically no cost to OPA. We have several sponsors lined up that have committed to providing money for the kickoff. And from a day-to-day operational event, that would be absorbed in the day-to-day kind of fees that we already are, incurring.
Any other discussion?
So, Rick?
Go ahead, Dr. Lackady, go ahead.
Yeah, so in effect, this is a cost neutral event then, right?
Basically, yes.
Okay.
We hope to make a little revenue on it.
But it won't, you're not looking at it costing us anything, right?
No.
Okay,
I mean,
cool.
there's some day-to-day overtime that will be involved.
Which is built into the, we built.
Right, it is built into the budget already.
Just
I
like
think it's
we
gonna
do
be a
it.
great event. This will be awesome.
Well, thank the committee. Really, I'm just the liaison.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor for a motion to approve the event, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose?
Go, guys. Go get going. Go get your sponsors.
Gary Miller.
The next on the agenda here is on the new business, a proposed topic discussion by Elaine Brady regarding ARC guidelines.
Yes, this will be our first reading for this, the updates to the ARC. The committee every so often will relook at their documents. And, kind of read what this says that came from the chair on it. It's really a continuing effort to improve and update the guidelines. They also look to simplify and make it as direct as possible in order to reduce any confusion and misunderstanding. I think, there is some confusion between permitting. You can't just get a county permit, you also must get an Ocean Ponds permit. Some people don't realize that. Modifications and additions that they are working on deal with issues that have arisen within ARC meetings or variance meetings, that sort of thing. ARC's interpretation of the guidelines as they apply to the changing characteristics. There's different materials that are being used for fencing and other things now, so they look at that. The heightened concern over the community's appearance by residents. So again, they're looking at, those sorts of things. The primary areas that are being addressed in the document, just for everybody's understanding, is they are requiring more current property surveys and site plans so that they can make better informed decisions as people do come in and ask for variances. More detail on what is going to be needed to apply so that people understand, so they don't have to keep coming back. I know as liaison on the committee, probably half the people who come to the first meeting have to reschedule because there's a lot of documentation and information that they're just not providing on the first go round. In it, they also talk about plantings and tree removal, drainage, fill and grading, especially on new properties or, when somebody's renovating, culvert pipes, recreational vehicle storage, home-based businesses. They eliminate outdated things, and one of the things they're working on is signs, which will also include flags. They're considered signs just in a cloth material. So all of that is being looked at. It has already been run through bylaws. They've sent in any of their changes or input. Bruce had looked at the sign thing, and it's now been requested to look at the entire document. So between the first reading and the second reading, all of that will be done. Any of those changes will go back to ARC to update.
Okay, great. So with this, now that we've done this first reading on that, it's going to go to council for review.
Yes.
Okay.
The documents were sent
Okay.
to Bruce, yeah.
Okay, Steve.
Yeah, thank you. I sat in on the bylaws committee meeting where there was I think a really helpful and fruitful discussion between some of the concerns that the bylaws some of the folks had, and John Dilworth, who's chairman of the committee, who did a really good job on walking through all that sort of stuff. My understanding is some of he has some other questions that arose at the bylaws meeting that he'll bring back to Bruce. I think most of them sort of fit under the time, place, manner restrictions that are suitable in this case. But at any rate, I wanted to. John was invited to come in. He did a really good job in walking the committee through those concerns that they had. And, we'll just proceed from that point forward.
Right. Thanks, Steve. Any other question? Jeff?
Just want to say to Elaine, I'm a new member to this board, and in preparation for this, I read just about every document that I could on bylaws and charter, and this one in particular, the ARC guidelines, I probably had to read 3 times. But I read your red line document very thoroughly this week. And wow, you really have simplified the narrative in here and made it really a lot easier to interpret. So I want to say nice job there. And I just wanted to take this opportunity also to say that I appreciate everything that the ARC committee does, because it takes a lot of detailed knowledge and for them to look at the permits and the exceptions, it's really a thankless job that they're doing really well.
Great. Any other questions? Anything? Okay, so just to reiterate, so this was going to go to council for review, and then we'll do a second reading in February. Is that the
Correct.
intention?
Unless, depending on,
That's the goal.
Is that the goal?
that's the
Okay.
goal.
All right,
But, yeah,
go ahead. Anything else?
it aligned with that, you'll see that there is a, extension, for our committee chair, because his term was going to be up
Right.
within a couple of days, or may have already passed. And he has agreed to stay on until this document is passed, because he was so involved in it, which is really terrific.
Gotcha. Great. Well, thank you for all that. Next up, we have appointments. What I like to do is put a motion out there to approve all appointments for this. We'll have John Dilworth extension to as to a term for his chair for the architectural review. We have Donald McMullen for the third term for golf. We have Susan Russell, first term racket sports. Leslie Shippey, first term racket sports, and Fred Steele for first term strategic planning. So I have a motion to approve all appointments.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Get that, John? On that? Okay, all have been approved unanimously. Have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.